Howdy folks, Brandish Nail here, and getting ready to do a little bit of work tonight, so I figured I'd record a little video. Just a quick heads up before I start anything major with this video. I got a new phone, so I'm just trying out the camera, so if anyone wants to tell me in the comments how good the audio and video is for me, hey great. I don't know. It's not really a top of the line device. It's pretty cheapo. It's the Samsung A10e, I believe. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, as always, Kihigugmatika. We are maybe half a world apart, but we are always together in a heart. Let's go ahead and do some work. What I'm planning on doing is I'm doing some rehousing for my pumpkin patches. So just scooch up a little bit closer. I'm going to try to do this all on my phone here without any kind of a mount. Do this, what's his name? Exotics layer style. But anyway, here's my pumpkin patches. This is my big girl. Not a really good focus for up close. Well, not really big. She's bigger than my other one. But you can see they're about ready for a rehouse. Their enclosure is pretty small, and you can just kind of see it's time for something bigger. My other one, you see it right back in the little den there. I don't know which one's male, which one's female, or either or, but I have a hunch that this one's female. Just because of her rapid growth rate, and she's just bigger than everyone else that was out of her clutch. Anyway, let me go ahead and move them to the side. For right now, I'm only going to do this one in this video, and I'll just do that one later on. So let me go ahead and put him away, put her away. And just stick them off here to the side. And then drink. Cheers, folks. So these are a few of the tools that I'll be using today while I'm doing this. I won't need these scissors for anything, but most of them is just used for manipulating. This one's not going to be as complex as some of my other enclosures. I'll explain why as I go along here. These are the enclosures that I'm using. I've already drilled the holes. These little containers, I get these over at the Container Store. And they also have an online store as well. I like their products. Some of the stuff, it's a really good place to find little makeshift enclosures like this. I kind of like these a lot because these are stackable. And they're made by the same company that made the ones for my slings. So if I wanted to, I can stack these up on top of each other like that. So I like how versatile and how stackable they are. It just really makes it nice and easy to keep a lot of spooters in a small space, and I don't have a lot of space. Anyway, let's go ahead and grab this one right here, put this one off to the side. And let's get started. Now, for these, you can see here in their substrate, these guys aren't really burrowers. They don't need to dig too terribly much. So there's not going to be a whole lot of bioactive I'm going to be doing with this one here, because they are going to need a bit of a drier environment, and if I do it bioactive with a lot of stuff I need to water, there's so much, it is a constant battle with tarantulas to fight mold. And every once in a while, I don't know where they're coming from, I've been having an actual mushroom outbreak. So whenever you're doing enclosures like this and not doing the simplified version, which is just fine for keeping tarantulas, it is always advised to keep a very, very close eye on things, because you never know what's going to be happening. You always want to watch for mold and make sure that that's dealt with as soon as you see it becoming a problem. I've actually seen little mushroom rings growing under soil, under water dishes, which is kind of crazy to see, but it is a constant battle. And keep in mind, I am by no means a professional bioactive expert, tarantula expert, or anything like that. I do not claim anything like that at all. This is my hobby, and I just like sharing what I love to do with people. If anyone has any criticisms about my setups or the way I do anything, I am very open to criticism. I'm not one of those egotistical bastards. Anyway, we're already 5 minutes in and I haven't done shit. So let me go ahead and get started, and otherwise this is going to be like a 45-minute video. One of the first things I need to do is make sure that my substrate is proper. Now right now I just mixed it, but right at the point it is like super dry. So this is definitely going to need some moisture before I go do anything else. Now this is especially important, not quite as important for what I'm doing right now, but it's especially important when you're dealing with anything that likes to burrow, because it is always a disaster and a nightmare to deal with whenever you have a tarantula and a burrow collapses in on top of it and you got to dig it out. I use a mixture of potting soil, sand, Reptisand. Well, it's not potting soil, it's Reptisoil. It's basically a good soil that doesn't have any fertilizer or anything unnatural in it. I also use sand, and I use coconut bark. That makes a pretty good substrate. The sand and clay from the Reptisand mix, or excavator sand is actually what it's called. It works really good because there's also clay in there, and clay gives everything a little bit more substance. And my thing's about out of water. I need to fill my water sprayer. But what I'm looking is something that once I compact it in the enclosure, it's going to have structure, and it's going to form a soft, well, not a soft, a firm surface for the tarantulas. Otherwise, you'll have collapse problems, and if you think about it, out in the real world, the ground's hard. It isn't like this. But once I compact this, you can see how now that compacts, and it's pretty solid, so that's enough moisture. Alright, now let's go ahead and start adding some into this. Again, normally I would add a false bottom, a charcoal layer, and stuff like that. But this isn't going to be a super lush environment. It's going to be kind of arid, and you're going to see why I'm wanting it that way whenever you see what my design plan is. So we scoop. Let's see. Let's move some stuff around here so that I'm not crossing the camera. Go ahead and laugh at me. I'm not used to doing this one-handed. Also not used to trying to keep things centered on my phone while I'm trying to do it. If this gets to be a thing where people really like what I'm doing, you know, right now I'm just doing this because I'm bored, but if this gets to be a thing, then I'll probably invest in some actual decent recording equipment and have me just a little rig set up so I can do stuff like this and have both of my hands available. Anyway, cheers again. Hope this ain't too boring. I know I'm not the most exciting person in the world. Anyway, I kind of like that. I think that's going to be enough. Now I need something to pack it down with. I didn't bring my tamping tool over here. So, got an old shot glass sitting here. Let's go ahead and just tamp this down nicely. So I'm giving this just a nice firm pack. Alright, and that's about what I'm looking for. I do want it a little bit interesting though. I don't want it just to be a bland, flat thing. So let's see here. How about if I go ahead and add a little bit more soil onto this side. Make like a little mound on one end. You notice on the ventilation holes, I put some under the soil as well. I've been getting really fond of that idea because a lot of the mold problems sometimes starts below the soil and then comes to the surface, especially if you get fungus like mushrooms or toadstools in there. So this is a really good way to keep the air circulating under the surface of the soil so that you minimize that kind of a problem. All right, so I like that. Now for my design plan. Pumpkin patches. What do you think about when you think of that? Pumpkins, Halloween, jack-o'-lanterns, right? Okay. Everyone likes their little creepy, spooky enclosure for a pumpkin patch. And I thought, you know what? I might as well go ahead and join the game. So what I did here is old Halloween decoration from this year. I got a bunch of little skeletons from like some skeleton garland that was hanging up. And I figured, hey, I'm going to turn this into something like that. I'm going to put this little guy in here like this here in just a couple seconds after I position the way I want him. And the way the pumpkin patches web up, if you look here, everything is coated with this fine layer of webbing, right? I'm thinking that once it starts webbing up over the skeleton, that's going to look frickin' amazing. So this isn't going to be its an adult enclosure though. This is just going to be for its juvenile years. But I want this skeleton to have more of the traditional arms crossed at the chest look. So my plan for that, first I need to go ahead and plug in my hot glue gun so it's getting ready while I'm preparing. So since this stuff doesn't really bend too well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it right on the joint. I need to have both hands to do this, but let's see. There we go. Boom. Cut that thing right off. There's one. And now what I can do is I can simply take this and I can hot glue each one to the arm and then to the chest with the traditional look that I'm looking for. And the webbing will hide any imperfections or errors on what I'm doing here. Does that all make sense? I hope it works. I've never tried this before and I figured, what the heck? If it doesn't work, it's a lesson. I think it was Christopher Titus that said, "You never fail at anything. You succeed at finding what doesn't work." Good saying, right? Okay, so there's the left arm, and there's the right arm. Hot glue gun good and gold. Let's see. Dem hot glue. All right. And then I put this like that. Like so. Hold that for a second. I want that more across the chest. There we go. That side done. Now this side. Feels so fucking Martha Stewartish. Uh-oh, the other side just went. Maybe my glue wasn't hot enough. I definitely ain't no thread banger, am I? Ah, fuck. Okay. This sucks with one hand, and I just lost an arm. I'll find that arm here in a second. All right. You want to watch me cuss? Yeah, that's happening. Fuck. Mudge, did you take it? Change of plans. He's going to be armless. Come on, cut off. There. That'll still look pretty cool without the arms. And it'll make me cuss less. And I think that'll look better too than something done kind of shitty looking, right? Okay. Maybe I'll even cross the feet. Oh, I do want to cut this little tab off of his head. I don't like the look of that. There we go. All right, now I want to sink him down just a little bit into the soil so he's not just poking up that bad. About like so. Okay. I think that's looking good. This is where this little brush comes in. And instead of buried perfect, there's a little mystery to how he got to be where he is. And what happened to his arms? Were they gnawed off by wild animals? Who knows? Who knows? Okay. Now is my favorite part, adding extra stuff to this. Let me go ahead and bring my moss and lichen collection out. Another drink of beer. Another quick puff. We're at the 18-minute mark now. Not too bad. I'm close to done. Oh, silly me. I almost forgot. He's going to need a hide. Of course. So because she's not too big right now, I'm going to give her this one right here. This would be like a nice little hide spot. Whoops, I'm not even showing now. This would be a nice little hide spot that she'll have up in this corner. I think that'll do. I am going to put a couple more little pieces down on this side here, though. Like, let's see. Hides are very important, you know. You never want to skimp on them. It is just something that helps to keep them comfortable and happy. Also, I'm going to be putting some other things in that'll give them some stuff. So I'll probably add a few little extra things to it as we go. But you'll see when I'm finished. There's going to be plenty. I make sure they have plenty of hiding room. It's nice to see your tarantula and everything, but stress is a big killer for them. And if they can't feel comfortable, they're not going to be happy little buggers. Okay, now here is all of my plants. Well, some of my plants. I have a variety of mosses here. Some pillow mosses, and this right over here in the corner, this is some reindeer lichen. It's a little dry on the tips, and this needs some water. Reindeer lichen is kind of difficult to, well, no, it's not too difficult to keep alive. You just got to keep your eye on it. And this got ignored for a little while. But I'm still going to use some of this because that'd be really good in here. So, all right, let's go ahead and start by thinking what I want to put and where I want to put it and how I want to do it. I would like to see, let's see. There's this little piece right here. I think I might cut a little sliver right off the side like that and put that along the side here maybe. These require a lot of moisture, so I'm not going to put those in. I'm just going to leave them be, let them grow and propagate some more. They've been actually putting off some new growth, so I'm happy about that. Here's a little piece right here that'll look, I know where to put that already. All right, so now what I do is I'm looking right there. See how I got this little plug attached to that? This is probably going to dry out and die, okay? I understand that when I put this in here, but that's what's going to give this a lot of life. I know life out of their death, but you can see this is a death scene. This is going to be like an area of death that this tarantula reigns over. So that's kind of my idea, but everything's, you see what I mean? I'm probably going to end up putting little droplets of water on it every once in a while to try to keep it alive, but I'm anticipating that too much moisture is going to kill it. But then again, this is experimental. But you can see I just kind of plugged it up right like that. And now it's got a little plug in the back. So now it's got actually a way where I can't see into it. I don't really like that because I like to see my spiders. But at the same time, it's going to feel more comfortable. So with that in place, I think I'm going to take some of this reindeer lichen. Again, it's brown on the tips. This requires quite a bit of humidity. So this is something I'm putting in because I want it to be like some interesting looking dry growth. More tumbleweedy, I guess, is for lack of a better word. And it also gives the tarantula a little bit of hiding space in there. That's what I really enjoy too. Now I don't want to go too overboard in this because I do want to be able to see it sometimes, and I do need to leave a spot for a water dish. So the water dish is going to go right down in this corner right here. So I'll just put that in here a little bit later. For this size, I just simply use a little, it's an ink cup ink cup from a tattoo shop for that. Anyway, I like those as cups whenever they're young and slings because they're easy to remove, easy to clean, and cheap. And it's not a huge thing in a small container. Anyway, I know I'm probably boring the shit out of you guys. It is time to show our sweetie her new home. And I'll have to post an update to this after she has grown accustomed to it. The hard thing is going to be getting her out of her existing home because that's her lair. So I'm going to put her up on top like this. And I'm going to see if I can chase her up and over the side. I would not recommend this for most tarantulas, all right? But I know this girl's behavior very well. I better be responsible and say, catch cup. Okay, I'm teaching proper habits. Please don't learn this kind of stuff from me because some of the things I do may not be the best. Like I've rehoused my GBB and not even worried about any kind of catch cup or anything because I just know her. But anyway, that's my preference. I'll probably get some comments going, man, you should always be careful, but I am. I don't claim my methods to be the best methods. Okay, now let's see. If I touch her on her butt, she's probably just going to go under her cork bark. Let's see. Oh, she's too big to fit under there anymore, isn't she? Let's go. Come on. No. Nope. Let's go this way. Oh, I know. This makes you mad. Come on. There you go. Look. There she goes. Oh, she's trying to back up. She's trying to go back. See, and my theory is I'm very patient with them. I never rush them, and that's what I use this long brush for. That way I can just give them a gentle touch on the rump to tell them where I need them to go, or on the side or anything. I just make sure that my movements are very slow, and I just try not to scare them too much. But anyway, there is the final shot here. Again, water cup will go in right there here as soon as I finish this video. Alright, and I'm probably going to add some gravel in here too, just to scatter a few rocks. Oh yeah, you know what? One thing I might as well do right now while I got the video on. This really is what I think makes any enclosure pop. Needs a little bit of leaf litter. Oh, I know it's raining leaves. It's raining leaves on you, sweetie. There we go. A little leaf litter. Just made that look a lot better. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and end this video now. Any criticisms? Any thoughts? I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thanks for stopping by. If you watched this all the way through, hey, have a great day. Again, I love you, baby. We'll be together someday soon. Kihigugmatika.